Om Shanti Om Shanti Om transl. Om Shanti and Om is a 2007 Indian, Hindi-language romantic fantasy comedy film directed and co-written by Farah Khan with Mayur Puri and Mushtaq Sheikh. It stars Shah Rukh Khan as Om, a junior artist in 1977 who has a crush on a secretly married superstar, played by Deepika Padukone in her Hindi film debut. Her lover, a producer played by Arjun Rampal, kills her in a fire. Witnesses this and dies from the injuries sustained from trying to rescue her. Reincarnated as a superstar in 2007, he seeks to avenge his love. Om Shanti Om also starred Shreyas Talpade, Kirron Kher, Bindu, Desai and Javed Sheikh in supporting roles, and saw cameos from many Bollywood celebrities in several sequences and songs. The film was produced and presented by Shah Rukh's wife Gauri Khan under the banner Red Chillies Entertainment on a budget of 50 crore. Farah conceived Om Shanti Om while directing the musical Bombay Dreams 2002, which was based on the Indian film industry. After Shah Rukh rejected the first version of her next film Happy New Year, she was reminded of Om Shanti Om. The film's title derives from a similar titled popular song from the 1980 film Karz. The soundtrack album was composed by Vishal Shekhar, with lyrics written by Javed Akhtar. The background score was performed by Sandeep Chowta. The album received positive reviews and was also commercially successful, becoming the highest-selling album of the year in India. The film was theatrically released in India on 9 November 2007 during Diwali weekend. Om Shanti Om earned over 215 crore worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing Bollywood film of the year. It received positive reviews, with praise for the performances and the film's narrative. The film won several awards in major Indian film award ceremonies. At 53rd Filmfare Awards, it received 12 nominations, winning for Best Female Debut and Best Special Effects, and also won the National Film Award for Best Production Design. The film's climax was inspired by that of the 1958 Hindi film Mad Humati. Plot: in 1977, Om Prakash Makhija is a junior artist in Hindi cinema who is in love with a film actress named Shantipriya Kashyap Akashanti. He and his friend Papu take on numerous small acting roles as film extras at RC Studios, a major film studio compound owned by producer Mukesh Mehra. One evening, Om attends the premiere of Shanti's film and envisions himself as the lead actor Manoj Kumar. That night, a drunk Om describes his fantasy of one day winning a Filmfare Award for Best Actor and makes an emotional and inspiring speech on the streets in front of his friends. The next morning, at the shooting of a film, Om rescues Shanti after a fire grows out of control, and they become friends. Om then tries to woo her. One day, at an RC Studios backdrop set, when Om tries to meet Shanti, he ends up overhearing a conversation between her and Mukesh. The pair have been married for 2 years in secret, and Mukesh refuses to reveal this in public. Shanti insists him to acknowledge her as his wife and reveals that she is pregnant with Mukesh's child, leaving Om heartbroken. Mukesh seems overjoyed. After some days, he takes Shanti at the sets of their upcoming film titled Om Shanti Om. He says that he will cancel the film, reveal their marriage to the public. Om happens to be on the same set in the hopes of meeting Shanti for one last time before she goes on with her life, but seeing her happy with Mukesh, he leaves. However, the very next moment Mukesh reveals his true colors. He confronts Shanti, saying that her insistence for revealing their relationship to the public along with the child will destroy his career. He tells her that he has arranged for the set to burn, and lights the set up. Just when a depressed Om is about to leave the compound, He is shocked to see Mukesh leaving and Shanti desperately crying out for help. He attempts to rescue her, but is attacked by Mukesh's guards, leaving him severely injured. After the guards leave, he again attempts to rescue Shanti, but he is thrown from the building by its fiery explosion and lands in a nearby street, disoriented. As he assumes Shanti to be dead, he is suddenly hit by a car owned by Rajesh Kapoor, a famous actor taking his pregnant wife Lovely to the hospital as she is in labor. At the hospital, Om remembers his moments with Shanti as he dies, while his soul reincarnates into the newborn Om Kapoor given birth by Lovely. 30 years later. In 2007, Om Kapoor, nicknamed OK, is a famous actor and lives the luxurious life dreamt of by Om, but experiences pyrophobia and subconsciously inherits Om's memories. He also bears a birthmark on his wrist similar to the Om tattoo which was on Om's wrist. His mother Bila visits every set of OK claiming him to be her son, and OK feels weird seeing her. Soon after his 30th birthday, OK and his assistant, Anwar, drive to the RC Studios compound long neglected and in disarray after the fire 30 years earlier to shoot for an upcoming film as OK was insisting to shoot on a realistic location. While being there, OK experiences unsettling memory flashes of his past life at the studio, including that of eavesdropping on Mukesh and Shanti. An awards ceremony, when OK is awarded the Filmfare Award for Best Actor, he unknowingly delivers the same speech Om Prakash made when he was drunk, which is viewed by an aged Papu on television, surprising him. The next evening, Rajesh throws a party in celebration. There he introduces OK to Mukesh, whose introduction causes him to fully remember the events of Om's life. That night, OK has an emotional reunion with Bila and Papu, and conspires to avenge Shanti's death by making Mukesh confess his crime. OK convinces Mukesh to restart shooting for Om Shanti Om, and he plans to convince him that Shanti's spirit is haunting him. To find Shanti's look-alike, OK, Papu, Bila, and Anwar audition many actresses, but are unsuccessful. When they finally find a superfan of OK named Sandhya Bansal aka Sandy, an exact doppelganger of Shanti. Throughout the film's shooting, OK and his friends arrange incidents to remind Mukesh of the past, including organizing the film's launch at the same ruined set. During the process of creating the incidents, supernatural events occurred in support when it seemed the plans would not work, much to the confusion of OK and his friends. During the music launch of the film, OK taunts Mukesh by revealing the extent to which he knows the story of Shanti's death. But when Mukesh runs after Sandy suspecting she is not Shanti's spirit, Sandy accidentally cuts her arm and bleeds. Seeing this, Mukesh is convinced about this. As he chases Sandy further, he is suddenly hit by the set's swinging chandelier, knocking him unconscious. After Mukesh regains consciousness, OK confronts him, but Mukesh reveals that he knows Sandy is not a ghost after all, surprising OK. Mukesh then says no one can do him any harm as there is no proof of the murder, but just then Sandy appears, saying she will give the proof, and confronts Mukesh. She reveals that after the fire ceased to burn, Mukesh found that Shanti had survived and buried her alive below the chandelier. OK is confused about how Sandy knows this in detail, since he did not know this himself. Mukesh, spooked by the fact that she knows all this, attempts to shoot Sandy, shocked by the revelation about the murder, but OK tries to stop him, and they both fight, which results in yet another fire. Just when a furious OK is about to kill Mukesh, Sandy stops him, saying Mukesh will die indeed, but not by him. She looks at the chandelier, and it proceeds to fall on him, killing Mukesh instantly. Papu, Sandy, and Anwar rush to join OK, who is shocked to see Sandy in two places at once. Just then he realizes that the person he assumed to be Sandy was actually Shanti's spirit, and recalls instances where the supernatural events helped when OK plans almost did not work, realizing that her spirit was responsible. She smiles warmly towards OK and tearfully bids him goodbye, disappearing as she moves into the light. OK reunites with Sandy. Cast: Shah Rukh Khan as Om Prakash Makhija / Om Kapoor aka OK, a famous who experiences pyrophobia because of his past life. Om Prakash. Deepika Padukone as Shantipriya Kashyap aka Shanti / Sandhya Bansal aka Sandy, Om Kapoor's love interest, also who is the exact doppelganger of Shanti Mukesh's wife. Arjun Rampal as Mukesh Mehra, a film producer and owner of RC Studios, Shanti's husband. Kirron Kher as Bila Makhija, Om Prakash's mother. Bindu Desai as Kamini Arora, Dolly's mother. Javed Sheikh as Rajesh Kapoor, Om Kapoor's father. Satish Shah as Partha Roy. Yuvika Chaudhary as Dolly Arora, Kamini's daughter and Om Kapoor's friend. Nitish Pandey as Anwar, Om Kapoor's assistant. Asawari Joshi as Lovely Kapoor, Om Kapoor's mother. Nasser Abdullah as Nasser. Shawar Ali as Shawar. Lin Leshram as Om Kapoor's friend. Cameo appearances. Special appearances during the song Diwangi in appearance. Production. Development. In 2002, Farah Khan worked as a choreographer for the musical Bombay Dreams in London, which she felt presented a cliched and outdated version of the Indian film industry. She thought that the musical would not be successful if released in India. She instead thought of a new story, writing her initial thoughts about the subject on Andrew Lloyd Webber's letterhead while staying in his house. Later in 2006, Farah began to work on her next project, which was tentatively titled Happy New Year. Amid speculations that Shah Rukh Khan would star in Happy New Year, the actor rejected the first draft of the film, upon which Farah's husband and editor Shirish Kunda reminded her of the story she had conceived while in London. Happy New Year, which was to mark Deepika Padukone's Hindi debut, was put on hiatus and revived more than 8 years later under the same title. Farah completed writing the first script of Om Shanti Om within 2 weeks. She set the first half in the 1970s as she felt the Hindi films made during that period were much more influential than those made in other periods, particularly the 1980s, which she felt was a period when the worst movies were made. She also included many references to the 1970s, which were also prevalent in films of that time. She said, everything in the first half is about the 70s, such as the mother who overacts, mouthing cliched dialogues. Then there are cabarets, badminton, and other stuff popular during that era. Shah Rukh's costumes were designed by Karan Johar, while Manish Malhotra designed Padukone's costumes. The rest of the cast had their costumes designed by Sanjeev Mulchagni. In addition to directing the film, Farah co-wrote the story with Mayur Puri and Mushtaq Sheikh. She was also the film's choreographer. Puri wrote the screenplay and dialogues. He completed the writing process in 2 months and rewrote the film's second half. Puri created the screenplay by writing his natural reaction to the characters as scenarios. He knew that despite being part of a crowd, junior artists do not want to be recognized as such, ruins their chances of landing a leading role in future. This was used in a sequence involving Shah Rukh and Talpade, who play junior artists. Puri blended different genres together in Om Shanti Om, which he felt was challenging. He used his personal memories from childhood for creating the 1970s. Shirish Kunda was the editor, while V. Manikandan was the cinematographer. Sabu Cyril was the film's production designer. Sabu was first offered the Mani Ratnam directed Guru 2007 at a time when Om Shanti Om was being planned, but ultimately chosen the latter due to his earlier commitment to Farah for her future project. Farah used two particular dialogues in the film: "When you want something badly, the whole universe conspires to give to you, and in the end everything will be okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end." These were used as Khan felt that it reflected her philosophy in her life. Farah stated that the film's opening scene was her most favorite in it. In 2008, Puri felt his most favorite dialogue from the ones he wrote would be the Filmfare Awards speech. The film's title derives from the eponymous song from the film Karz 1980. Om is a Hindu mantra. Om Shanti Om roughly translates to "Peace be with you." The film opens with the grandeur shot of the most famous songs of Karz, that is Om Shanti Om, featuring Rishi Kapoor and SRK as junior artists standing in the crowd. Casting: Shah Rukh was cast as the lead. He gained 6 packs for a song sequence. He felt Om Shanti Om was a happy film. Farah was advised by Malika Arora to cast Padukone as the female lead, who was suggested by Wendell Roddick, under whom Padukone was working. She was cast without a screen test. Khan felt that she was a beautiful, classic Indian beauty who fit the role of an actor of the 1970s. She was excited at the prospect of working with Shah Rukh and said, "I've grown up watching Shah Rukh and always admired him so much. To get to work with him is quite wonderful. It was also fantastic that Farah showed faith in my talent and cast me opposite him." In preparation for her role, Padukone watched several films of actresses Helen and Hema Malini to study their body language. Her character was modeled after Malini and nicknamed Dreamy Girl after her, the latter's nickname as Dream Girl. Rampal was approached by both Khan and Shah Rukh at the latter's New Year's Eve party. Rampal was initially reluctant to do the role as he felt it was too evil for someone like him. With persuasion from Shah Rukh, he agreed. Rampal wore a mustache in the film, which was suggested by Shah Rukh. Shreyas Talpade played a supporting role as the best friend of Khan's character. After the release of Iqbal 2005, completing the filming of Door, Talpade, who attended the same gym as Khan, was called for a narration of what would be Om Shanti Om. He agreed to do the role. Kirron Kher, Bindu, and Javed Sheikh also appear in the film. 31 Bollywood film actors appeared in cameo appearances for the song Diwangi Diwangi. Other actors were also supposed to play cameos, including Farah Khan, who was arrested at Dubai airport in a drug case. Dev Anand refused, as he always played lead roles in his career. Dilip Kumar and Sarah Banu didn't appear in the song, despite plans to include them. Amitabh Bachchan refused due to his son's wedding, while Aamir Khan refused due to Tar Zameen Par's 2007 pending editing. Khan had wanted the three Khans to appear together in a film. Rikha, who appears in the song, carried out 2 days of rehearsal for it. All those who appeared for the song received gifts, including a BlackBerry phone and a Tag Heuer watch. Principal photography: Om Shanti Om was made on a budget of 40 crore. The first scene to be filmed was one where Talpade's character tells Shah Rukh's character that he will be a hero. Shah Rukh was an hour late for filming. Farah was pregnant with triplets while filming and experienced difficulties while shooting. She would constantly vomit while directing the film. The film was shot entirely in sync sound. Farah dismissed rumors of Padukone's voice being dubbed. In 2015, however, Mona Ghosh Shetty admitted to have dubbed for Padukone in the film. The fake fight scene involving a stuffed tiger was inspired by a similar scene in the film Tarzan 303. Old cars owned by actors Rajesh Khanna and Hema Malini were used for filming for authenticity. A number of references to real life was also filmed, including a scene in which Om saves Shantipriya from a fire, which was a spoof of Sunil Dutt rescuing Nargis from a fire on the sets of Mother India 1957. For a shot involving a Filmfare Awards ceremony, Khan stood on the red carpet of an actual Filmfare Awards ceremony and requested actors to dictate dialogues as she stated. The song Diwangi Diwangi was shot over a period of 6 days. The song Dihum Tana has digitally altered guest appearances, which included Sunil Dutt from Amrapali 1966, Rajesh Khanna from Sacha Jahatha 1970 and Jitendra from Javed 1977. Farah wanted to film Shakira for filming a special appearance had made her commit a few days for the role. Due to the uncertainty of her dates, the idea was scrapped. In February 2007, a filming schedule was completed in Film City. It was then reported that filming would move outdoors after Shah Rukh completed filming for Kaun Banega Crorepati. In October 2007, Abhishek Bachchan finished filming for his cameo appearance. He shot between 10 and 2 in the night for his screen time of about 1.5 minutes. Filming of the last sequence and the end credits song was done in Film City. Farah continued the tradition of featuring an end credits song beginning with Main Hu Na 2004. Om Shanti Om was produced by Shah Rukh's wife Gauri Khan under their Red Chillies Entertainment banner. While marching ants handled the publicity design, Gauri was the presenter. Shyam Kaushal, Amar Shetty and Shah Rukh were the action directors. The film's final reel length was 4013. 94 ft 1223. 45 m. Music. Initially, A.R. Rahman was signed in to compose original songs and background score for the film, but he opted out after disagreements with T-Series as he wanted them to share the copyrights of music between him and the lyricist. The film's score was composed by Sandeep Chowta, while the original songs featured in Om Shanti Om were composed by the duo Vishal Shekhar with lyrics by Javed Akhtar. One song was composed by Laxmikant Pierlal. The vocals are provided by KK, Sukhwinder Singh, Marian, Nisha Karalisa Montero, Shan Udit Narayan, Shreya Ghoshal, Suniti Chauhan, Rahul Saxena, Sanu Nigam, Rahat Fate Ali Khan, Richa Sharma, Abhijit Bhattacharya, DJ Akhil, DJ G, Kirron Kher, Jackie V, Nikhil Chainapa, DJ Nod and Zoheb. They intended the soundtrack to be a tribute to the music of the 1960s and 1970s. Trade reports predicted the album to be commercially successful. The soundtrack album of Om Shanti Om was released on 10 October 2007 on CD. Pierlal of the Laxmikant Pierlal duo guest composed the title Dihum Tana. He had stopped composing after the death of his partner Laxmikant, but after Farah Khan requested a song as tribute to the music of the 70s and the 80s, he agreed at the insistence of his wife and daughter. The song was recorded with a 150-member orchestra and traditional instruments like drums, tabla, dhalak and dafli, a trademark of Laxmikant Pierlal. He used more than 40 different percussion instruments. In a soundtrack review, Jajinder Tuteja of Bollywood Hungama gave it 4 stars out of 5 and opines, Om Shanti Om is easily one of the most complete scores by Vishal Shekhar and Javed Akhtar. Sukanya Verma of Riddif.com also gave it 4 stars out of 5, applauding the tracks but criticized the dark side mix. She concludes her review by writing, Om Shanti Om is an out-and-out musical that captivates with its roaring polyphony and unabashed drama. Ash Gandhi of Planet Bollywood gave a rating of 8.5 stars out of 10 and writes, not only have Vishal Shekhar proven themselves in terms of musical ingenuity and quality, They have shown us the confidence, the poise, and the ability to step up to the plate and hit a grand slam when they are called upon to do so. He further gave them a standing ovation. Writing for All Music, Bhaskar Gupta gave the album 4.5 stars out of 5 and praises the composer's writing. Vishal Shekhar finally delivered a soundtrack that could be deemed their signature offering. Vishal Shekhar was nominated for Best Music at the 53rd Filmfare Awards, Producers Guild Awards 2008, and Zee Cine Awards 2008, winning for Best Composer at the 2nd Asian Film Awards. Vishal Dadlani was alone nominated for Best Lyrics at the Filmfare and Producers Film Guild Award ceremonies. Actor was nominated for Best Lyrics at the Filmfare and Zee Cine Awards, winning at the 9th IFA Awards. It was the highest-selling music album of the year in India, with sales of around 2 million units. Release. Om Shanti Om created a record of sorts by going in for an unheard of 2,000 prints worldwide release. This was the highest number of prints including digital for any Indian movie at the time of its release. Om Shanti Om set another record for registered pre-advance booking of 18,000 tickets in a chain of theaters in Delhi a few days before the advance booking was to start. A special screening was conducted for Bollywood actors. Red Chillies Entertainment had reportedly sold the world rights for the film to Eros International for an amount between Rs. 750 million. Baba Films, a production and distribution company, had offered a record Rs. 110 million for the rights to the Mumbai circuit, surpassing the highest amount ever paid for the territory. As a marketing strategy, Amal advertised Shah Rukh. Meena Davuluri's talent for Miss America 2014 was a Hindi film fusion dance choreographed by Nakul Dev Mahajan and performed to De Humtana. It was the first time Hindi film ever appeared on the Miss America stage, and Davuluri is the first Indian American to win the competition. Om Shanti Om was remade into a Japanese musical titled Om Shanti Om. A book, titled The Making of Om Shanti Om, written by Mushtaq Sheikh, was released after the release of the film. The book gives an insight into the production and happenings behind the camera of the film. Controversy. One of the leading actor of the film, Manoj Kumar, planned to sue the makers of Om Shanti Om for showing his body double in bad taste. Kumar added, "Are the Mumbai police so stupid that they can't recognize Manoj Kumar and laugh-charge him in the 70s when he was a star?" Kumar also alleged that Shah Rukh Khan is communal. Later, in a press conference, Shah Rukh Khan and director Farah Khan accepted their mistake and apologized for the matter. Farah Khan even offered to cut the scene which Manoj Kumar felt was hurtful, but Kumar refused on grounds that, as Farah had stated, "I Farah Khan am like his daughter." He said, "Bitiyan Mafi Nahai Monty, daughters don't ask for forgiveness." I told him that he could have called me and scolded me. Later, Kumar said that though this incident was hurtful to him, he wishes to forgive, ignore, and move on, saying that he prefers to see Ram in everyone and ignore the Ravana. In 2008, before the film's television premiere on Sony TV, Manoj Kumar filed for a stay on the television release, civil court in Mumbai. On 8 August 2008, he won permanent injunction on the scenes in Om Shanti Om that lampooned him. The court ordered the producers and Sony Entertainment Television to edit the Manoj Kumar look-alike scenes before showing the film on the channel on 10 August 2008. It also ordered that the film could not be shown in any media, TV, DVD, or Internet without the scene being deleted. Plagiarism allegations. On 7 August 2008, before its television release, scriptwriter Ajay Monga moved the Bombay High Court alleging that the basic storyline of the film was lifted from a film script he had emailed to Shah Rukh Khan in 2006. According to the petition, Manga, along with one more writer Hemant Hegde, had registered the script with the Screenwriters Association CWA in September 2005. In January 2008, Screenwriters Association CWA rejected Manga's appeal at a special executive committee meeting. Thereafter, he approached the court to stay the film's screening on television. Though on 6 August the court rejected Manga's plea for seeking a stay on the television telecast, it directed all the respondents, including Shah Rukh Khan, Farah Khan, Red Chillies Entertainment, Gauri Khan, director Red Chillies, and film's co-writer Mushtaq Sheikh, to file their say by the next hearing on 29 September 2008. In November 2008, the Film Writers Association sent a communication to Red Chillies and Ajay Manga. It had found similarities in Om Shanti Om and Manga's script. The similarities were more than mere coincidences, according to Suni Taraporwala, who chaired a special committee that has investigated the case on behalf of the Film Writers Association. Another allegation of plagiarism came from Rinki Bhattacharya, daughter of late Bimal Roy, who directed Madhumati. She threatened legal action against Red Chillies Entertainment and the producer-director of Om Shanti Om, as she felt that the film's second half was similar to Madhumati, also a rebirth saga. Reception. Critical response. India. Om Shanti Om was received positively by Indian film critics. Taran Adarsh of Bollywood Hungama gave it 4 stars out of 5 and writes, Om Shanti Om is Bollywood masala in its truest form and also at its best, but notes, the second half could have been crisper. Khalid Mohammed of Hindustan Times gave the film 4 stars out of 5 and appreciated the performances, observing how Rampal is consistently first-rate as the suave villain while Padukone is fantastic, so surprisingly assured that you marvel at her poised debut. He notes that the enterprise belongs to Shah Rukh Khan, who tackles comedy, high drama, and action with his signature style, spontaneous and intuitively intelligent. Six-pack or no packs, he's the entertainer of the year in this Valentine to the movies. Nikhat Kazmi of the Times of India gave the film 3.5 stars out of 5 and writes, Farah Khan's rebirth saga literally makes an art of retro and paints the 70s pop culture in Andy Warholish strokes. She called it an unabashed tribute to Karz. Rajesh Sen of Rediff.com gave it 3.5 stars out of 5 and applauded the performances of Shah Rukh, Padukone, and Talpade. He writes, Om Shanti Om is an exultant, heady, joyous film reveling in Bollywood, and as at most parties where the bubbly flows free. He criticized the dialogues and excessive cameos in the film. Rajiv Masand of CNN News 18 gave the film 3 stars out of 5 and writes, unpretentious and completely transparent in its intentions, Om Shanti Om is an entertainer in the true sense of the word, mixing up genre elements like comedy, drama, action, and emotion to create a heady broth of Manmohan Desai-style exaggerated entertainment. He compliments the dialogues which so cleverly incorporates Bollywood's oldest clichés into these characters' everyday parlance. A commentator for Indo-Asian news service felt that Shah Rukh's acting was repetitive and writes, he needs to curtail his unwarranted superstar mannerisms even in a total masala film like Om Shanti Om, while complimenting the performances of Padukone, Rampal, and Talpade. Sudesh Kamnath of The Hindu stated that the film is an unabashed celebration of willing suspension of disbelief, calling it a light-hearted tribute to Hindi cinema the way we know it and love it. He praised the performances of Shah Rukh, Padukone, and Talpade, while criticizing Rampal and Kerr. He also praised the various spoofs, especially the ones directed at Manoj Kumar, writing for Santabanta.com, #KJHA gave it 1 star out of 5 and criticized the spoofs, which keeps swinging from homage to imitation with infuriating artifice, writing, "The mood is one of patronizing and condescension, rather than genuine admiration for an era that's gone with the wind." Overseas. On the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, Om Shanti Om holds an approval rating of 76%, based on 17 reviews with an average score of 7.21/10. Tajful Rathore of BBC gave it 4 out of 5 stars as well and stated, "Both a homage to and parody of Hindi films, this cinematic feast delivered straight from the heart of the film industry will have you glued to your seats till the end." Mark Medley of National Post gave 3 stars and stated, "The film is a mess for all the right reasons. Elements of comedy, drama, romance, action, and the supernatural are packed in. But really, the plot is just a vehicle to get from one song and dance number to the next." AOL gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, stating, "The movie consists of all the elements that are essentially called the Navratnas of Indian cinema, from joy to grief to romance to revenge. And she mixes these well to cook up a potboiler, which is sure to be a runaway hit." Box office. Om Shanti Om opened across 878 cinemas in 2,000 prints worldwide. The film's net gross after deducting entertainment tax was $994 million, $14 million in India. The film collected $2.78 million in the United Kingdom, $3.6 million in North America, and $3.7 million collectively from the rest of the world, which resulted in total overseas collections of $10,080,000, the fourth largest of all time as of 2010. As a result of these collections, a worldwide gross of 215 crore $30 million was accumulated. Awards and nominations. Footnotes.